Manchester United 0. Everton 1. And just to confirm what that means then for United, they remain sitting 10th in the table. Of course, they had the opportunity to go up to 4th in the table with a win that many thought would happen, especially when Everton were down to 10 men. Very much then. 3 points dropped for Ruben Amorim's side. For more, let's welcome in, shall we? Frank Leboeuf is with us. And for the very first time, Dimi Berbatov joins us as well. Dimi, let's start with you. That was embarrassing, wasn't it, from your old team?
Hi, guys. Yeah, unfortunately, a bad night for United and everybody connected with the club, especially when you play 80 minutes with one man more on the pitch and not be able to score a goal. But credit to Everton and their whole team for defending the way they should. But still, though, something that United need to think of, that goal that they're missing to score, especially again playing with one man more on the pitch for 80 minutes.
What the heck happened, Stevie? You think down to 10 men, yeah. But United were sloppy right from the start in this tie.
Yeah, they were. I mean, you know, you thought straight away when they go down to 10, we're all sitting going, well, this is done.
Yeah.
You know, because up until then, I'm not sure Man United had been in Everton's half that much up to that point. But it took them till the second half, because for the rest of the first half, we saw the goal. Manchester United did nothing, absolutely nothing. And yes, there was a bit of an onslaught in terms of territorial advantage. But the biggest problem United had is not moving the ball quickly. When you're a man up and you move the ball around, then the opposition have to move around quicker. And that takes the legs out of them. Instead of that, you're knocking the ball around from side to side. It's so easy for Everton just to shuffle across. So you're not taking advantage of the extra man. That's the biggest problem. They didn't take advantage because he didn't move the ball quick enough.
Were they complacent, Shaq?
I don't know. It's difficult to explain, right? From a United perspective, hard to explain, even more difficult to excuse. My first thought is for David Moyes here. He's had 2 weeks to think about this game, and then all of a sudden, in 13 minutes, two of your own players fighting, one gets sent off, and now you have to readjust. But credit to whether it's David Moyes or just the other 10 players left on the park, I thought Everton were great value for their point. No, the other side to that is you could, certainly I would say Jordan Pickford was Everton's best player, would get man of the match. But that does not paint the true picture of how this game went. I thought the 10 men of Everton bossed this game for large spells. As the game went on, of course, they tired and United had more possession, brought more to Jordan Pickford. But there were times where Everton looked the more likely to score. Even after the break, when Amorim makes changes and brings Mount on and Mazraoui goes off, I still think Everton defended wonderfully well, limited Manchester United's opportunities. And there was no real adjustment other than that. And maybe the argument is Ruben Amorim didn't have too much to call on, with Sesko and Cunha both out injured. But the truth is, United at home, a man up with 60 minutes, 70 minutes of the game still to play, there should have been a foregone conclusion by half-time.
I think over 80 minutes, Shaq.
Yeah.
Not meaning to question your maths. Yeah. Frank, how do you explain this?
Well, simply by the fact that I think Manchester United played only on one gear. They didn't change the pace at a certain point of the on the pitch, where normally you see Amad Diallo pacing up and troubling the defense. It was the same the same pace and the same gear, and so you don't surprise the defense. And if you can play 10 against 11. I mean, I remember training with Gianluca Vialli, an Italian specialist, 4 against 10, and they couldn't score because we are well organized and we are moving. And if you don't change the pace, and if you don't try to surprise the defense, you're not going to score. Oh, yes, you need an artist like Dimitar Berbatov, but otherwise it doesn't work. And that's what happened today or tonight for Manchester United. And Dewsbury Hall showed how to change the pace and how to surprise. And one goal, bye-bye.
Dimitar, don't believe a word. You should have heard what he was saying before you came on air. Have you ever wanted to punch your teammate, Dimitar?
Oh, pretty much every game, to be honest. but as Listen. I like stuff like this. It shows that you want to win. You're passionate. You want your team to do well. You want your teammates to do well. And sometimes tension boils, and either sometimes you argue with the opposition. Sometimes that it happens, you argue with your own teammates. And we've been witnessing in the past as well, bust up in the Premier League as much as you want. But again, you should stay in the dressing room or after the game. Not on the pitch, of course, because then you get the red card, you leave your teammates with one man short.
And you can be excited by the game and you don't realize, I think it's what happened to Gueye, where he thinks that Keane is going to follow and he wants to give the ball to him and he realizes that in fact, he made a stupid pass and being a bit, annoyed by that. And then he reacts. We don't know what happened to the two of them before, but I don't think it can come from something in the past. But that's insane. That's really insane. I remember, and Xhaka must remember because it was at Newcastle, Boyer and Dyer fighting like crazy, being both red card in Newcastle, finishing 8 against 11. That was insane. But it can happen. And that's, for me, that's stupid. That put a shame on the team. That put a shame on the club. And I really think that maybe both of them, because Keane pushed Gueye. Instead of trying to calm down, he pushed him and maybe pushed Gueye to slap him. So that's something that the club in internal had to sort out because that's not a very good image of football and of Everton FC.
You experienced anything like that, Shane?
No, not in the park. So, but to Craig's point, to
Frank's name is.
To Frank's point, I wasn't at Newcastle
Thank you.
at the time.
Thank you to remember my name.
I wasn't at Newcastle at the time of the incident that he referenced. I've not seen anything like that during a game. Obviously, there was the Ariel Berkovic and John Hartson incident when at West Ham, but that was on the training ground. Again, it's one of those, and thank goodness for the result, because had Everton lost, this could have just kept going and going for who knows how long. But the fact that they won at least allows, it drops the temperature, allows players to laugh and just kind of figure things out. Had they lost, I think this could have been infinitely worse.
Steve, when we were watching the game, you brought up Bruce Grobbelaar and Steve McMahon, which I'd completely forgotten about. And that was, if there was VAR, they both have been sent off during that time.
Yeah, well, because they both hit each other in the face.
Yeah.
But it started and finished in the snap of your fingers. And, of course, there's no VAR back then. And it was only the cameras that picked it up. The referee and the linesman don't see it.
But is that something that still bubbles in the dressing room afterwards?
No.
That's so weird, isn't it? You wouldn't think that.
It stops as quickly as it starts. And it's forgotten. Because we all understand that there's things happen on the field. And sometimes there's a bit of red mist. And with Bruce, Bruce lived on the edge a lot.
Right.
Macca's the complete opposite.
I
I mean, Macca's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
No, there's nobody cooler and calmer than Macca. But even Macca retaliated. And again, it's the usual. Keane, 100% is in the wrong. And if I'm David Moyes, I'm actually pointing the finger more at Keane because...
Really?
Well, Gueye's reacted. The guy who's on the field of play, and we've seen it over the course of how many years, somebody has a bad challenge, the other guy loses control and hits him and gets sent off. The guy who retaliates gets sent off. And it's the same here. So if I'm David Moyes, I've got more of a problem that Keane has lifted his hands first. That's where I would start.
Frank, have you ever come close? Chris Sutton, you ate him.
No, he spitted on me, but there was a year before when he was playing for Blackburn. But I remember one guy in Blackburn, Graham Lassalle, having a fight as well. I don't remember against whom, but that was insane because I know Graham. Graham is the coolest guy in the world, loving everybody. When I saw the image, it was before he signed for Chelsea. I couldn't believe, knowing him after that he was capable of doing that and not stopping and fighting back. So it never happened to me, and no, I would have never reacted. You could be upset with somebody, but you don't go that far. I mean, you have to be. Come on, you have to think a bit. We know we're all football players. Sometimes we have empty brains, but still think a little bit, guys.
Let's focus a little bit on Manchester United, Dimitar. It's incredible thinking when you were with them, of course, winning Premier League titles, one of the best teams in the world, to drop how far they have. It must still seem a bit of a surprise for someone who was there during the peak of their success.
Of course it is. And it's even difficult sometimes to speak about the present days and then go back to the past and compare years and how long it's been since the last Premier League trophy. And it's in a way of speaking like United needs to go back to winning ways now for 13 years without that Premier League trophy, but it is what it is. It shows you that sometimes the Premier League is so difficult to compete. Even Liverpool now dropping to 11 after they become champions last year. Of course, it's credit to the other teams that they are building the competition, so you need to be better every year if you want to stay to the top. But from Manchester United perspective, honestly, sometimes when we spoke with former teammates, we are wondering what is the right answer. That's probably the answer. And we are just hoping that as soon as possible, United will come back to the right path of winning games. But obviously, it's not going to be tonight as well, because it was I can say, poor performance, because you should be able to score at least against the opposition who is playing with one man short on the pitch. But he was not able today. So there's a long road again to walk until we can finally be sure that United will go back to the fighting for the Premier League.
Dimitar, have you seen enough from Ruben Amorim to believe that he is the right man for the job?
Well, it's easy to sit here in my home or you guys in the studio and everybody can criticize. That's the easiest thing to do, right? Especially from us ex-football players. But I don't want to be that guy, because I've never been a manager. I've never been in that chair. I've never felt that pressure. I've never managed a team. So it sounds a bit ridiculous if I give my opinion on that. I just hope that he will find the right tools, the right players, the right system, although we all know that he's not going to change his system. But still, though, that hope is alive there that United will do something. Maybe the point difference, not with the first, but for the first places, is not that big yet. If they can find the right course of playing. 10th place, 18 points, the 50s, 20, 40s, 21. So it's not that big gap. That's the only thing that gives me hope right now.
With the result that they had today, you know, with an opportunity playing 11 against 10, you should have gotten the 3 points. And it's hard to believe that you can get better if you're not capable of having a result today. So yeah, everything is possible, like Spurs, and they just one spot above Manchester United. Everything is possible, even for the first 3 or 4, for Chelsea, for anybody. You have to be really aware of what's going on behind you, because that can change very quickly. So it's an it's not open race for the title, because we feel that Arsenal is already there. But after, it's really open for everything.
You know, they showed that the team, the very first team that Ruben Amorim put on the field, and they compared it to the team today. And so he's changed half the team. And so I remember us talking about, well, it's a culture. That's the biggest thing. You can't argue that players at United have ability. But in order to be a top club and a top team, you need the right characters and you need the right culture. And so when you look at what Man United produced today, it's hard not to question the manager, considering he's changed half the team, but yet there's no difference from that first game to this game today.
He's got injuries to deal with, and the new signings coming in, sets go out.
Right. Well, let's go with that and talk about the culture and the character of the team.
Right.
And so that's why they don't beat 10 men today. That's why they get beat 1-0, because the characters in the team aren't capable of taking advantage of it, and the culture clearly isn't there, that they know in their heart all we have to do is everybody gets together, everybody is going in the right direction, all is one, and we're going to steamroll 10 men. That isn't there. So, again, it's recruitment, but again, you have to look at the manager also.
I find it a little hard to put so much of the blame on Amorim today. And maybe to your point, there are characters out in that park. Bruno Fernandes is out there. Casemiro is out there. There are characters, to Stevie's point. We've criticised Amorim time and time again for his rigidity with his 3 at the back, but he goes to 4 at the back for the second half. 11 men against 10, that's down to the men on the park. if you allow the 10 men to outrun you, to outwork you, to outdefend you, that's down to the men on the park. And so while I get Stevie's point about Amorim in the bigger picture, today, I absolve him of responsibility for today's result.
Dimitar, do you agree with Xhaka?
I think yes, to be honest, because that's why I say sometimes it goes down for the manager. We can criticize him the way he stick to his system, which he doesn't bring the result that we all want. At the same time, sometimes the characters on the pitch can decide the games. Although we have characters like the guys mentioned in the studio, like big name players like Casemiro who won pretty much everything. You have Bruno Fernandes there as a captain to lead the line. But obviously even that sometimes is not enough. And when that culture of winning the Premier League is not there yet after so many years, it's difficult to get it back. It's difficult to get it back. And that's one of the problems, to get into that way of keep calm when the storm is going around you. Find the right way when the team is getting with 10 men, the opposition. Now, let's not be in a hurry. We'll find the right solution. We'll find the right pass. We'll find the right space. We improvise. We score a goal. Today, that's not the case, even though we had chances to score. Pickford was probably man of the match as well. But you should win games like this if you want to go high in the table.
Just a reminder, a lot more reaction to what we've seen in the Premier League over the last couple of days over on YouTube. Be sure to go to ESPN FC and subscribe. To what happened on Sunday, the North London derby, a walk in the park, wasn't it, in the end, for Arsenal, beating Spurs by 4-1. Frank Buff still with us, as is Dimitar Berbatov. So we've talked about Manchester United, one of your teams losing. Let's talk about another former team, shall we, Dimitar?
He's a bit of a jinx, isn't he?
I know, I just blame him for everything. We've got Bayer Leverkusen coming up. How much was this Spurs being bad? How much was this Arsenal being great?
Not a good days for my former team, guys. No. Yes, you're right. Spurs were very bad. Not taking away the way Arsenal is playing, how they were entertaining at that particular day, the goals they score, Eze on the great form with a hat-trick. But Spurs, as always, that consistency in their performance is not there yet. You know, getting good results mixed with the bad results. And at one point, when you play your rival in that North London derby, where you need to be 100%, you are going a bit defensive approach in that game with 5 at the back, which is not aligned with Spurs' way of playing football. And when you have someone like Arsenal with their ability on the ball, they will find that space. They will find that pass. They will have a chance to score like they did. And unfortunately, again, on that particular day, Spurs were not in a good shape or form whatsoever through the whole game. Yeah, they scored a nice goal, but still, in the end, it was humiliating for everybody to watch.
Frank?
Yeah, I agree. I was just checking that Fulham won, so the good thing for Dimitar for the weekend. Ooh, good things. And I'm not sure about Monaco, but whatever.
All right, get on with your answer. Stop sucking up.
Yeah, I'm going to answer. Well, he said everything. Now, there is not much to say. You know, that was an humiliating defeat from Spurs because they didn't try anything. They didn't try. Well, maybe they couldn't. Maybe Arsenal were too strong for them. But I want to believe that Tottenham's and Thomas Frank, they are better than that. And we didn't see anything. Credits to the Gunners because they were absolutely fantastic. I mean, I really like Declan Rice, and every time I see him playing, I love the involvement that he put into the game defensively, but also what he brings offensively, and the first pass that he makes to Eze when he scored his goal. I mean, that guy is amazing. But he's the mirror of what I see from every players and the involvement that they have to win the games every weekend. So. That was amazing what I saw from Arsenal and really appalling from Spurs.
What's the big problem with Spurs? Obviously, they sacked Ange Postecoglou despite winning the European trophy. Thomas Frank came in and he hasn't had the impact that I think people were hoping for, Dimitar.
Well, let's not jump to conclusion, right? Again, it's easy. And of course, the first one to be blamed is the manager, as always. You can easily change the one manager and not 22 players. But I mean, it's too early to judge. It's still very early days for Spurs with Frank in charge. He's going to hopefully find his footing, find the way to make Spurs play in the way that everybody wants them to play, which of course is more entertaining football. Like in the first months or weeks in Ange, when he stepped in charge, he was playing that attacking football. Everybody was admiring him. That, of course, after that, unfortunately, things didn't go well for him and the club. Now Frank is playing a bit more flexibility depending who he's playing on. Sometimes more defensively, sometimes more direct. But still, it's early days. I would like to give him more time with the team because I think he's in the right place with his vision for the game. Of course, as he now knows, it's not going to be easy. Here is more exposure for him. Spurs is a big team. So he needs to get the result. But the only thing that I would like for them to get is the consistency, which means getting the right result, even if you don't play good.
And Dimitar, consistency obviously is what Arsenal have brought to the table so far this season. For many, they've already won the title. Do you agree with that?
No. Frank knows as well, you guys know as well, Premier League is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Now comes the Boxing Day, the Christmas fixtures, the games where you'll be tested. And if you get out of these fixtures in a good results, and comes the new year, you're in a good position. If we speak about Arsenal, if they're still in the first place with good advantage on the points on the table, then they're halfway there. But let's, of course, not jump to the conclusion yet because, of course, City are dropping points. Liverpool, as I mentioned, low down in the table. But there are other teams, Chelsea, of course, Frank X team. They're teams that can surprise. And 6 points is a good, cushion to have. But in the Premier League, that's nothing.
Could be 9 points, of course, Frank, after next weekend.
So, yes, exactly. That could be 9 points, but that could be 3 points as well. If I become better than Shaka in math, and he could do, he could go very well. The only concern that I have, and I'm listening to Dimitar, is I say, okay, it's not crucial. 6 points is not crucial. Arsenal are not there yet, but who can beat them? If I look and watch every game that I saw, yeah, Manchester City maybe, but they lost against Newcastle. But otherwise, I don't see any consistency, which makes me think, okay, maybe that team can come back. Or Liverpool, and Stevie can witness that. I think we don't recognize them, and it's going to be an off season for them. But after that, I don't see who can really fight against Arsenal. And Dimitar is right, but right now, I don't see anybody being able to compete with them.
Great performance from Newcastle. Of course, all the goals coming in that 6-minute spell. We spoke at length about this game at the weekend, so I don't want to really go over old ground, but I do want to bring up something that Frank Leboeuf said a few weeks ago during an argument we had. The question was, is Erling Haaland the best ever striker in the Premier League? And whose name did he bring up in that conversation? Our guest today, Dimitar Berbatov. So I suppose, Dimitar, you're the right person to ask. Who's better, you and your pomp or Haaland?
Oh, no, come on, guys. I think Haaland is a beast. Haaland is a level above me, for sure. But in the conversation of the best striker ever in the Premier League, the names you have there, Alan Shearer, Thierry Henry.
Thank you.
Harry Kane, players that
you were wrong, Frank.
But in his case, if he continues on that rate, he's going to be among the best for sure.
How much of a problem, though, is it, Dimitar, for City that it seems to be if he doesn't score, no one else does?
It can be a problem because then obviously you're going to have a bad day, you're going to miss the chances, you're not going to score 1 or 2 games, then someone else needs to step up. But when you get used to your big star to score in every game, sometimes that can be a problem because then nobody's used to score goals, just your main striker. So that's something that I think Guardiola knows pretty well, and that's why they should find a solution for this. Either someone else will take this responsibility, or they should, continue to feed him with the balls to score. Like, for example, Harry Kane was for Spurs. Harry Kane was the main guy who was scoring goals season after season after season. And in that regard, they didn't have much problems. So maybe Haaland will be the same, scoring and scoring and scoring.
One last thing, Dimitar, I know you've got to go soon, but I just want to switch attentions quickly to Liverpool. Liverpool, of course, losing at home against Nottingham Forest. So many questions about where it's gone wrong so far for the defending champions this season. Obviously sitting in the bottom half of the table after that home defeat against Forest. Dimitar, I want to talk to you about Alexander Isak. If he rang you up and he said, look, what advice would you give me to get going at Liverpool, to get on the score sheet, what would you say to him?
Don't think about the price tag. Don't think about it. I know that he's probably thinking at it from time to time because that's a lot of money paid for one player. The transfer that was happening, happened in the manner that you don't want it to happen. And it reminds me a bit of myself back in the day where I wanted to go to United from Spurs. People were disappointed, people were angry, fans were angry. You know, when you have a situation like this, it's going to affect you. Then when you go to the new team, of course, expectations are there. You put expectation on yourself. You know about the price tag, even if you don't admit it. Now you know that everybody's expecting from you to take the ball from your own half and pretty much bring it to the other half and score by yourself. But that's not the case. Of course, if your team is going through a difficult moments and games like Liverpool's right now, you're going to suffer. You're a striker. You're depending on the crosses, on the balls from the midfield, so you can score goals. He's in a difficult position. I can only give an advice in a short sentence: stay strong in the head. But here is the answer.
How difficult is it to do that, as you say, with the price tag, with the Anfield fans, with the fact they're defending champions and they're nowhere near Arsenal at the moment? Psychologically, that's got to be something that you really struggle with day to day.
Oh, I'm not gonna give you a lie to you. It's very difficult, and it's gonna be very difficult. So my thinking will be, and it was when I was in this position, get good people around you.
Right.
People that will tell you the truth when you need to hear the truth, that will be honest with you. Of course, the teammates to be supportive. The manager needs to continue to believe in you, to know that you're going to play. Because the strikers, we are a different breed. We think that we are special, big egos. We want to feel special and to feel welcome.
Selfish.
So also, if you're a striker, you need to be to score goals. And the manager is crucial here to be there and support him in that difficult moment that he is now. And of course, him as a player who wants to show that he is good enough. Again, stay strong in the head. It's not that easy, of course, and that's why good people around you are crucial.
And I suppose the problem with that, Stevie, is that with what's happening at Liverpool at the moment, we're in a situation where basically everybody's looking after themselves.
Well, I would suggest that, to begin with, everybody has to do that. The question you asked Dimitar there, I was thinking about Paul Mariner. He used to tell me all the time, whenever he went through a dry spell, a goal drought, the way he would forget about it is by every single day on his own with a goalie and somebody else and do finishing for half an hour. He'd do it every single day. So when he turned up, the only thing he had in his mind was what he'd spent the whole week doing, putting the ball in the back of the net.
Right. Just
a little thing to trick your mind into thinking you're actually scoring goals and you're not going 10 games or whatever it is without a goal. So that's what I was thinking about when you asked me that.
So is this just a case, Dimitar, he gets one, and it's like Van Nistelrooy used to say, didn't it? It's like ketchup out of a bottle. Then it'll just keep coming and coming? Or is it such a psychological block at the moment that even if you get one, you won't necessarily add to that quickly because of the way Liverpool are playing?
Exactly. Both ways works. Sometimes you score one, and another will follow, and then you're in a great position. Then you score one, another dry spell will follow. It's different. It's different, but I agree completely that sometimes building the right habit of putting the ball in the back of the net. If that means in the practice, in the training ground, even if you don't have a goalkeeper, just a goal, someone crossed you the ball, just get in the habit of putting in the back of the net. Get that self-belief that even if a good ball is coming to you, you are confident and concentration enough to put it in the back of the net. And of course, the one goal is the start. That will give you the confidence back because striker feeding on that confidence of scoring a goal. So when he scored that first goal, a big problem will resolve from itself. But then he needs to continue on that consistency of scoring a goal. Again, it's more easy said than done, of course, especially if your team is in a bad situation and don't play good football like Liverpool right now in this moment. It's going to be more difficult for him.
The reason I said you have to look after yourself first is because everybody who steps on the field has to do their job first.
Right.
You know, it's one thing to talk about looking after your teammates and looking after this guy, and then we do that. But you need everybody to, first and foremost, do the job that you're put in the team to do. And then once everybody sorts themselves out, then you can pull it all together. But you need everybody to do their job first before they can help each other.
And then, of course, as a defender, you can play on that, surely, against a striker who's struggling.
Yes, of course. You can intimidate him. You can, say bad words to him. And but you know what? You always pay attention to a wooden beast, because if he wakes up, he's going to be terrible. So you better leave him on the side, and forget about him and just let him dealing with his issues. But it's true that you play on that, and when he misses an action, you say, wow, my God, you're not the player you used to be. You could say that. I never did, but you could say that. And but I heard people saying that. They say, oh, my God, the guy is not there. He's not there anymore. That's terrible. That's really terrible. But it can happen to defender as well. When you try one time, you tackle, it doesn't work. Another time, and a goal and a non-goal against you, and sometimes it goes and goes. Yeah, it's difficult. And you feel sympathy, for Isaac, like for all the guys who have a dry spell, because you say, oh my God, because we know they eat that, they need that to stop being starved, and that's what it is. And I really hope that Isaac's gonna try to find the net very soon, and he's gonna be better.
Dimitar, I want one last question before I let you go. Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United, Liverpool. What order do they finish at the end of the season?
Nice, easy one.
You're provoking me here.
No, never.
Oh, you met that before. He's met you before.
Boy.
Of course, I'm biased here. Of course, I'm going to say Liverpool should finish behind Tottenham and United,
Yep.
Hopefully, Spurs...
Oh, you don't have to.
Shut up, Frank.
Well... hopefully Spurs and United will get their act together, and as I said, the difference between the point between the fourth and the third even is not that big right now. So that's the only thing that is good from this day, if you can take something. But the consistency, that factor, goes for both teams, for Spurs and for United, in my opinion. If they don't find that, they're going to suffer again this season.
Did you answer my question then?
Yes, Liverpool behind Spurs and United for sure.
Oh, yeah, so thank you very much.
Not bad
Much
at all.
appreciated. Be welcome back. Fair to say the honeymoon is well and truly over for Xabi Alonso. Of course, 3 games now without a win for the new coach. A lot of different talking points reflecting on that game and that form of late as Alex Kirkland joins us. Alex, I suppose the big one, isn't it? Vinicius Jr., who looked just delighted to be on the bench, and that has now sparked rumours that he has told Real Madrid, hey, I am not saying anything about a new contract as long as Alonso's here.
Yeah, well, that situation's been stalled for a long time, Dan, and we know the situation between Vinicius and Alonso in particular, it's been the case since the summer. It started in the summer when Alonso came in, going back to the Club World Cup. Around that time, Vini's camp started to feel that the player wasn't, the kind of player that the coach was particularly enamoured with, and that's continued every time he's been on the bench, and he's been benched multiple times by Alonso so far this season, something that never happened really under Carlo Ancelotti. When Vini was fit, he played. He was, untouchable under that regime, and that's no longer the case. And like I say, it's been brewing now for months, and certainly there are growing reports here that he's not the only one. This situation between Xabi Alonso and the dressing room, something that Alonso denied after the Elche game. He said, no, the connection between me and the players is improving. It's getting better and better. It doesn't look like that's the case. Now, I think this was always going to be a potential issue, going from the Ancelotti regime to Xabi Alonso, two completely contrasting coaches in terms of styles. That was never going to be easy, but you've got to bring the players along with you if you get the results. At the start of the season, Madrid were getting results. Now they are not. And increasingly, there are signs that the players are not happy. During that Elche game, some of the things that we've been told were kind of, non-negotiable under Alonso: working off the ball, out of possession, tracking back. intensity. We're not getting that now from a number of Real Madrid players. And this situation is really getting quite serious. I think it's 5 games now coming up to the City game in the Champions League. And over those 5 games, if Madrid don't start getting results, if the players don't look like they're on board with the Xabi Alonso project, Vinicius Jr. and all the rest, then it really is time for the alarm bells to start ringing, I think.
This is fascinating, Stevie, because this is a case of it's okay to treat the players like that via Leverkusen, but at Real Madrid it's a different breed.
You know, we were talking earlier about culture. The culture at Real Madrid is that El Presidente upstairs is more interested in
Spanish, Stevie, is quite
I know,
simple.
yeah. I've been practicing. He's way more interested in keeping the players happy than the manager, because he clearly thinks, I can get another manager.
Right.
So if this does continue, and the rumblings with Vini in particular, then it wouldn't be a shock for Xabi Alonso to be let go.
But he's been there, Shaq. He's been at big clubs. He's been at Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Liverpool. He surely knows that maybe you have to treat these sort of players differently than he has done in the past.
That's the biggest surprise for me. Xabi Alonso knows dressing rooms, successful dressing rooms like probably nobody else in the game right now. So for him to have this kind of disconnect with this Real Madrid dressing room is as big a surprise to me as I'm sure it is to Xabi Alonso. How the question now is, kind of given where we are, how do you fix that? How do you make that right? Vinicius Jr. has clearly made his opinions known, and you can't make it right with him. Can other things come up can other relationships be fixed in that dressing room? Again, I'm not sure. And the only outcome I see, or the most likely outcome I see to this right now is, given where we are with Real Madrid and that dressing room, if Real Madrid don't win anything this season, it is not beyond Florentino Perez to let Xabi Alonso go.
Even before the end of the season.
And then probably the only, if you're a Liverpool fan, you're probably thinking, the way things are going here, this would be great for us. That otherwise, this just continues to twist and turn and only gets worse as the season goes on.
You pulled a face when I said to Xhaka that he should know better.
I don't see Xabi Alonso kissing people's backside just to keep the guy upstairs happy and keep them happy. You know, there comes a stage where you...
But if what's happening at the moment isn't working...
So, but to that point...
but that's not really... You have to respect yourself before anybody else.
Right.
And if you are that way inclined, that the only way you can do it is by going around kissing Vini Jr.'s backside, then you know what?
But you don't have to kiss backside. Surely you just have to play it.
That's my...
But people, the way Vini is, it's that or it's nothing.
You think so?
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, the game... We showed his face. He didn't. It speaks 1,000 words. Look at the way he acted a couple of weeks ago. Why should this guy be on the field? It's all about him. Me. And again, it depends on Xabi Alonso. And I don't see Xabi Alonso losing his own self-respect to keep a guy like Vini happy just because he wants a job. Now, don't get me wrong. It is arguably the biggest job in football. But at the end of the day, is that worth your own self-respect? I don't think so.
So no, see, my thing is, I'm not asking Xabi Alonso to kiss anybody's behind here. That's not.
Can I just say something, Shaka?
Go ahead.
The thing is, how can he ask other people in the team, in the squad, to do things and then let Vinny off with not doing it? Because that's the reason Vinny's sitting in his backside.
That's not what I'm saying. So and my surprise around Xabi Alonso here is, if Xabi Alonso was a player in that team, in that dressing room, what would he, as a player, as the captain, be saying to Vinicius Jr. to get the best out of him? Now, again, to my point, nobody knows that situation as a player better than Xabi Alonso. The dressing rooms that he sat in, Bayern, Liverpool, Real Madrid, nobody knows that better than Xabi Alonso. So now to see him to kind of struggle to fix that relationship or build that bridge, however you want to phrase it, as a head coach, as a manager, I find surprising, because if he was in that dressing room as a player, there is no doubt in my mind that he would have fixed it.
Being a player and being a coach, on the face of it, seemed like a similar type of job,
right?
But it's not. It's a completely different ball game. As a player, you're looking after yourself, you're listening to the manager. If you can help other people, you do. When you become the coach, it's a different ball game.
Well, and you've got to deal with El Presidente.
And you've got to deal with El Presidente sat up the stairs.
A lot going on.
Who you know, by the way, because his record tells you that if you don't keep the big boys happy, then you're at the door. It's a horrible place to be.
The Madrid media is extremely powerful. El Presidente, of course, runs some of it, Alex. Which side are they taking in this?
He's back. Isn't he? He's definitely back.
Well, look, it's hard to give a definitive answer on that at this stage. There's a lot of criticism now for Xabi Alonso, no question about that. Criticism of his team selection, his tactics, and the fact that the results aren't going their way. There's also criticism for the players. Of course, when you get results like this, a series of results like this, against Liverpool, against Rayo, against Elche, there's criticism for some of the players for not performing. But ultimately, I mean, if you going back to the point the guys just talking about, if it's a choice between how do you solve this, do you change the coach? Do you change a whole bunch of the players? It's much easier to do one of those things than the other. And at Real Madrid, it's always been ultimately the coach that goes. I think the irony in all this is that this is kind of why Xabi Alonso was brought in. You bring in Xabi Alonso to shake things up, to get rid of some of the bad habits that had developed under the previous regime. There was a widespread feeling last season that the players had too much power, that the coach was too soft on them and sort of to a certain extent gave them too much freedom. So what do? You bring in Xabi Alonso to change those things. He has changed a lot of those things. And like I say, I guess you can only do that if the results go along with it. But there's no doubt that the pressure is really growing now. It's starting to get quite serious, and there is genuine discussion now about, like I say, not even end of the season, in the relatively short term. These next few games, you've got Olympiacos, of course, this week in the Champions League. Then it's Girona, Athletic Club in La Liga. That's a big one, and especially the City game. If by then, like I say, just 5 games, if things haven't turned around, we could potentially be looking at decision-making time, which seems extraordinary to say when you think about how quickly we've got to this point. But we're not that far away now.
Shaka's already got him going to Liverpool. Alex, thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. A lot more on the fallout from Real Madrid's draw against Elche on the latest edition of the Gab and Jules podcast. We're, of course, at the conference final stages of MLS, starting off with Cincinnati against Inter Miami. One-way traffic right from the start. 19 minutes in. Oh, Messi.
You don't see many headed goals for the wee man, do you? I mean, it's a great header. Right off the meat of the bat, into the ground. Textbook. There's a surprise.
Then into the 57th minute, Silvetti makes it 2-0.
It's a nice finish from Silvetti. Again, somehow Lionel Messi finds space in the middle of the park. Nice little ball, but really good finish at the end of it.
This is semi-final, 5 minutes after that. Messi again with the assist as Allende makes it 3.
Yeah, lovely ball, but it's a super finish. Doesn't panic, Allende. Great first touch. Sizes the situation up, gives the keeper no chance.
And then with 16 minutes to go, it's Messi to Allende again. Talk about whitewash 4-0. Easy stuff.
Again, great ball by Lionel Messi to pick out Allende, who's in behind. A lot of time to think about this. Good strength, good composure.
So Inter Miami then advance to the conference final. Philadelphia Union taking on NYCFC. The Union, of course, winning the Supporters' Shield. 27 minutes in, though, and this would prove to be the only goal of the game. Maxi Morales with a goal to see them get the victory.
Yeah, beautiful run. Lovely little ball through. Doesn't seem that much on here, but look at this run. Perfect timing, perfect weight on the pass, and the perfect finish.
Oh, lots of perfects.
Oh, absolutely
Perfect
perfect.
analysis, Stevie. Lovely. NYCFC then through to the final. A lot more on that with Christina Hercules and, of course, Shaka Hislop. We are live with you tonight, 8:30 Eastern, here on ESPN+. Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Frank LeBoeuf joins us, Shaka Hislop's here, Stevie Nicol as well. A lot of the questions about infighting as well. Is that the first one we've got today? We talked about this on the show, obviously. Questions for Stevie, Shaka and Frank. Oh, no, okay, here we go. Shaka, was that supposed to be red or yellow card for Ghana Gate?
It's a red card.
Yeah, you can't punch someone in the face.
No, hands to the face, you're going to get a red card.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
There you are. Shaka says so. There we go.
Didn't punch him. He didn't
Will
punch
Smith
him.
him, didn't he?
It wasn't even
Yeah, but
Will
that-
Smith,
that's
really.
more
It was a slap. But
That's
you
more
put-
humiliating.
What was Will
you know,
Smith?
I'd rather be punched than slapped.
Right.
Slapped is humiliation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No, don't you think?
Yeah.
So yeah, red card.
Okay, perfect. Red card. I think my questions are out of order. Let's see what we have next. Oh, what excitement.
I can't see that far, you know. I can't.
The next North London derby is February the 21st, 2026. So will Thomas Frank be in charge at Spurs? Shaka.
That's the day before my birthday.
Is it?
Yes.
It's my birthday this Friday, by the way.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Yes, exactly.
And me,
Yeah,
January
never mind.
22nd.
Yep. Yeah. You're here next. Are you here next week, Frank?
Yes. Yeah, you will have freebies. You will have freebies, Dan Thomas. You can go to the restaurant with me.
Oh, I'll have my shorts out ready. Don't worry about that. My legs are littler than normal at the moment.
I had your shorts down?
Sorry?
Never mind. Yes, Thomas Frank will still be in charge
Stephen,
on my birthday.
Correct me if I'm
how old
wrong.
will you be then, Shaq?
48.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, good luck.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
So it was Daniel Levy that hired Frank. Is that correct?
Sure.
I've got to let facts get in the way. haven't we?
Yes, it was.
So there's a possibility that he might not be. Because,
What do you mean?
Well, because when the hierarchy changes, people
They wanna bring in their own
people want to make a statement, and if they think they want to be the person that makes the change,
Yeah.
I think it matters that it's not Daniel Levy.
For Stevie, should Liverpool focus on the Champions League? Beat Real Madrid, didn't they?
Do you know what? You can't even that right now.
Who have you got this week? Do you know?
Who did
PSV.
win the
PSV, all right.
Champions League? Right now,
You just say you mumbled then.
no, I was trying to figure out who they were
question.
playing in Champions League.
Right.
I talk to myself now and again. I don't know if you've noticed. I was trying to figure it out.
PSV, Shaka says.
Yep.
Do you know, actually, right now, all they've got to do it doesn't matter if their next game is the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup,
Yeah.
the league, the whatever. It really doesn't matter. They've got to try and win a game.
Yeah, but didn't we think they did that against Real Madrid? And we thought, oh, here we go.
Oop,
Corner
there we go.
turned.
Oop, there it
Well,
is.
you've got to start again.
Oh.
Dan, you get knocked down, what do you do?
Well, you get back up again.
There you go.
Call Real
Chumbawamba.
Madrid, call Real Madrid up.
So you got to, every
Let's
time
have you
get knocked
again.
down, you got to start again. Get on your feet and get after it. So,
We'll have you again.
that's the answer.
El Presidente.
El Presidente. We all doing Wednesday.
Buenas noches.
We all doing on Wednesday. That's a game.
Oh, God. My stitches are going to go.
You don't make that kind of joke. Let me tell you something.
Stevie said he wouldn't give me CPR if I collapsed.
Yeah. I'll repay the favor. I'll repay the favor. Dan.
What a sight that would be.
People are like, no!
Collapse. And you open your eyes to see Stevie losing his time. You'll be like, I'm all right.
I need to go for a warm-up first. People are like, do a mariner.
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
There's an extra time question. Which colleague would you prefer to give you CPR?
Yeah.
Right, come on, serious soccer show. Frank, if you're captain of Everton, how do you handle the Gueye Keane incident? Do you deal with it at half-time, post-match, or wait until training?
I would wait until training.
Right.
Because halftime, of course not. After the game, they won, so everything is okay. But I think you have to deal to make sure that the dressing room works well, and you need to sort out the problem because it's a failure if they don't go along together. So especially when you see Everton, you know that you have to work together, and they showed it 10 against 11. So you have to carry on like that. You need to sort out the problem. They have to go into peace, otherwise it's going to be a nightmare.
It's over.
You don't need to talk about it in training.
Somebody will show up at training on Monday with 2 sets of boxing gloves.
Right.
Everybody laugh, and then everybody moves on, and
Yeah.
it's done. It's done.
You agree, Stevie? Yep. Which former Palace man, that's a good question for you, shout with your Bundesliga, would you build a team around? Elise or Eze? And who will outperform on Wednesday?
I built my team around Eze.
Right.
And who will...
Yeah, who will be the star, I suppose, on Wednesday?
Who will be the star on Wednesday? I think Bayern will win, so I'm going to go...
Do you think so? Away against Arsenal?
Yeah.
Why?
The gut feeling.
Right there, right in that gut.
Right in the gut.
Stevie?
Eze.
Eze?
Yep.
Why?
Well, he's...
Elise's had a better
Is it to
season.
both?
Elise-
Is it to both?
Elise's had a
Elise-
better season, hasn't he?
Are you asking me or telling me?
I'm telling you,
Okay.
because it's a fact.
If you think, whatever you think, good.
Wait, do you think Eze's had a better season than Elise? No.
I've not thought about the question.
Well, I'm asking the question now.
I'm just telling you that I would build it around Eze.
Yeah, but the argument is Elise's had a better season, hasn't he, than Eze? That's a fact.
Let me know when wants me to answer the question.
Well, I'm not asking you a
Give him
sub-question.
CPR now. Just give him CPR now. That's
Do you want to answer that?
Stevie, do you really think that people change? Do you know because they had that thing, you know, that he's going to change and they're going to be humble, wiser, and a nice person?
Yeah, you're
no,
right.
he's still
I think
Dan Thomas. He's still the same.
Humble and nicer.
I think you've proven your point today already. Yeah.
So what's your answer?
Which one? Which question?
The questions that you've decided you want to answer.
Oh my God, you just asked me 3 different questions.
We'll
at
give
one
you the
time.
answer to all 3 questions.
So in terms of Eze, I would build a team around Eze. I think Eze is going to be involved more both going forward and defensively. I think Elise relies more on other players to get him the ball than Eze does. That is my answer. Thank you.
Okay, and who will be the star on Wednesday between the 2 of them?
I think I will go with Eze again.
Okay,
Because they're at home.
Right.
He's more likely to be on the ball more than Elise will be.
okay. And
Anything
who's
else?
had the better season is the 3rd question.
Well, I know what you think.
Yes.
Because you just told me 10 times in the space of 10
Well,
seconds.
My opinion means nothing. I'm a mere humble presenter.
Well,
Since when?
well, it depends on what you're after. Are you after numbers? If we're looking at numbers
it's
here,
not difficult.
Elise's had a better season.
It's not a difficult
In terms
question.
of data, Elise's had a better season.
Right, data.
Yes.
And that's what you're going on?
Yeah, I'm going with data.
Okay.
Yes.
Not data.
No.
No, data.
Stitch.
Don't start.
You say data, I say data.
Final question. Do you want to, Frank, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, we'll go for Elise in all your questions.
Yeah, all the answers, Elise. Right answer. Stevie,
Yeah.
when Everton play United, what kind of outcome are you hoping for? What?
The one I got.
Oh, I see, because it's... You don't hate Everton, though?
No.
No.
No. Only when we play them.
Right. Yeah, there isn't quite the same
No. No, it's not the same feeling.
anger in the eyes.
Correct.
All right, lovely. Well, Frank, start packing. Saving some money for dinner. Lovely.
Yeah,
Yep, we'll look forward to it.
of course.
Stevie, you're off now for Thanksgiving.
Liar.
I am.
Stevie's going to somewhere where it's got 45 people for Thanksgiving.
What?
That's a lot of people.
What?
I know.
46.
46?
Yeah.
The dogs
And they all
count.
Yeah.
and they all pretend to be your friends.
No.
No. No.
No, they can't understand what you're saying. That's it. They're just going,
I'm going to make it.
Eze or Elise? That's it then, ESPN
Good
FC
luck to Eleanor.
is back. Have a lovely time, Stephen. You'll
Thank
be
you very
missed.
much, Daniel.
And Shaka, enjoy Football Americas tonight.
Thank you, Dan.
Sports Live. We'll be back,
Outstanding again.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
back tomorrow for more Champions League talk.